In the world of Fallout, we often find ruins of scientific complexes, military installations, and other dark, precursory monuments to espionage, intrigue, and malpractice. And while it's fun to dig up those stories, it's easy to forget the simple places. Places of recreation, where you could go out for the night with your family or friends, forgetting the tumultuous world for a bit as you stared up at the silver screen. Welcome to Oddities, a show where we take a look at locations in games to find details, moments, and minutiae we just think are interesting. So grab yourself a tea or a coffee and sit back as we explore together. Today we're here at Starlight Drive-In, one of the potential settlements in Fallout 4. There's no one living here when we find it, just a little colony of mole rats, as is common in the northwest of Boston. It sits on a turn-off of this road that runs under the train line. A giant Nuka Cherry advertisement indicating the entrance. Funny that the advertisement billboard is bigger than the one that would actually show what movie is playing. A little commentary never goes amiss in the Fallout universe. It's a shame we can't see the poster though. The projection building itself is this winged structure, one having fallen over the centuries. It's a snack bar as well. It looks like you could buy crisps, Nuka-Cola, cigarettes, cakes, and I guess coffee based on all the mugs. I don't see a coffee machine though. With the rounded nature of this room, you can imagine tons of people piling around to get their food and drinks. Maybe 3 or 4 workers racing about, listening to the radio. It's definitely an escape to small town Americana, away from the city and surrounded by this forest of trees. But of course, industry still looms in the distance. Around the other side of the building, it looks like you could bypass the service counter and just buy a Nuka-Cola from this machine here. Easier to convince yourself of the purchase when there's this level of convenience. And there's some telephones as well. Only 2 to service the whole complex, so you'd imagine there was a bit of queuing for calls. Unless you were fancy enough to have a car phone, of course. Inside, behind the counter, we have a broom cupboard with some tools and extra light bulbs. There's no indication of what's in these sacks here. Perhaps popcorn kernels? There's a door that leads out to the eastern wing. We can see some of the paneling has shifted, exposing the tangle of wiring that runs through the structure. And walking across, we can see that someone has built a little walkway here, likely post-war. This building does afford a bit of a view, and being able to get 360 coverage over your settlement is undoubtedly useful for fending off raiders or creatures of the wastes. And in the projection booth, we can find who probably constructed the ramp. A skeleton lies here, pistol in hand. Hard to say if this was the thing that ended them, or if the wasteland consumed them. They'd set up various traps as we ascended, so it's clear this person was a skilled survivalist, living out their post-apocalyptic days in this place, returning to hunker down in the tower at night. I wonder how long ago they perished. Above, we can find the huge projector hanging from the ceiling, a gargantuan thing that is rusted beyond repair. Funny that this metal husk would have brought joy to so many people, now sits dormant and dead, much like the world outside. The beauty of human ingenuity destroyed by the ugly side of it. We can find 3 great reels holding up a lantern. I wonder if this is 3 separate films or just one. I'm not sure how much one can store on a film reel in the Fallout universe. Outside the building there's these tables. The stools have long since been blasted away, but it shows that you didn't need a car to catch the movie. Sitting in this outdoor diner, people without their license didn't have to miss out. The drive-in itself is fairly empty, but the bombs dropped during the day, so I guess it makes sense. We have all kinds of cars, family carriers, trucks, convertibles, and even this tiny little thing. They're all parked next to these speakers. Tons of them are stationed about to ensure every customer could hear the film clearly. Of course, we have this crater in the centre filled with nuclear waste. It's hard to say exactly where this waste came from. It looks like rainfall might have made this indent in the earth, all of it pooling in the centre of the drive-in. Or perhaps there's an underground pipe that burst somewhere, or just a simple sinkhole. There are some traffic cones here, probably telling people to refrain from parking near the damaged section. Either way, this waste probably wasn't just sitting here all the time. Maybe it fell off the back of a truck that had come to watch the film, or someone lugged them here after the bombs fell for no particular reason. Another option could be the mole rats, I guess, collecting the barrels to make their nest. If you have any theories in the comments, let us know. The screen of the drive-in itself is in complete disrepair, panels hanging limply, barely clinging to the structure. Its shell is bent and twisted, but the foundations remain strong. Behind the screen we can find this shed, all kinds of tools for maintenance. There's a bit of a snack corner for the worker to sneak away and have a bite during their shift. Unless this was post-war and someone hunkered down here for a bit. I love this red paved walkway that leads us around to the next room, which, interestingly, looks a bit more like a living room. It's got a couch, fridge, barbecue, and a cot. The window's been boarded up, making it feel a bit like a safe room. Perhaps our friend in the projection room set this place up, should they need to hide. Atop the screen we have another awesome watchtower that peers over the surrounding land. From Concord to Lexington and Corvega, we can catch anyone trying to sneak up to the drive-in, or spot a trader traversing the roads. Whoever was on lookout up here last had this chair to sit on, kicking their feet up on the rail as they dragged on a cigarette and sipped their cola. Not much more to worry about than simple survival in this broken world. The last structure of the drive-in itself is a small shed which houses the workbench. With the bags of cement lying about, I believe this was a place that stored maintenance materials for the drive-in itself, likely trying to combat the growing sinkhole in the centre. Doing a roundup of the surrounds, we have this pond, fed by a pipe here. It's packed with dirt, so the pond is probably just fed by the rain now. There's what's left of a brick structure here, the interior having been eaten by the dirt. Someone camped out here, a charred pit the only indication of their presence. There's a roadside phone booth, blasted away by the bombs. And a derailed train that was carrying quarried stone, farming equipment, and these logs. And that's Starlight Drive-In. A place of leisure and friendship, now still. A gravesite to the many who abandoned these cars. But it can be reborn, bringing safety to those who settle should we choose to build here. An escape from the world, as it had been centuries ago. Thanks for watching. As always, if there's any games, moments, or details you'd like us to take a look at, let us know in the comments. We're playing through a few games that have been requested, so hopefully we should have some episodes out on those soon. Subscribe for more oddities, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.